Greetings and welcome to episode 26 of Change Your Focus, a mindfulness podcast designed to inspire and center you. I am Dr. Aiko-Douglas, your host, transformational life coach, life integration specialist, and mindfulness practitioner, here to empower you to transform your life one mindful decision at a time. I'm also here encouraging you to be mindful of the products you use on and in your body, as well as the products you use around your home. So welcome to our third live episode. I must say again, I'm proud of myself. This is the third episode where I've been doing this on my own, by myself, with all this technology. Again, it's perfect for today's topic that we will be discussing. And yeah, because I'm definitely facing a lot of fears in all of what I'm doing, and I'm still showing up every week. So let's get right into today's episode. Today's episode, as I've said, is about fear. Now I invite you to contemplate this quote by American painter and pioneer of American modernism, Georgia O'Keeffe. I've been absolutely terrified every moment of my life, and I've never let it keep me from doing a single thing I wanted to do. I love that. So when I contemplate this quote, I think that fear is real and also not. Fear. F-E-A-R, fear. It's an illusion, right? False expectations appearing real. We've heard these acronyms, right? Or fantasized experiences appearing real. Something we fabricate, we create in our own minds and pretend it's real. It can be a nightmare we tell ourselves that keeps us from doing what we really want to do. I think of every fear that I have faced. It was never as I initially perceived. In fact, it wasn't real because the terrible thing I imagined happening never actually happened. I survived, I persisted, I excelled, and I even, if I wasn't great at it, I learned. So oftentimes we create fear scenarios, right? From no past experience whatsoever. We just create that this thing is going to be horrible. There's going to be a horrible outcome. And we've never even experienced the thing. We don't know the thing. And not only that, but we project that out onto others, right? It's quite interesting. So for many people, the number one fear, I don't know if you know this, in America is glossophobia. And that is the fear of public speaking. Fear can be paralyzing, as we know, right? If we allow it to be. So for those people who imagine this glossophobia, right? Maybe they get sweaty palms, maybe they get up there, their throat gets scratchy. I mean, I've had some of these when I first started public speaking. for sure. Some of these things show up for me. Maybe they break out into hives or they sweat profusely. So many things show up, right? And some people will get on stage and literally not say anything. They will be so petrified, they are paralyzed. And so that is something that happens too. And so for me, I know at a young age, I vowed to myself to never allow fear to stop me from living my best life and doing the things that I desire to be. I wanted to thrive and not have any regrets in life. And so, while I may experience fear before most things that I do them anyway. As Georgia O'Keeffe says, right? That fear is there and I'm still doing the thing. I'm not allowing it to keep me from living my best life, from doing whatever else that I want to do. So, as you all know, when starting my lives on IG, which I've talked about before, right? Those first videos of deciding to share and talk about and review all natural products and teach my viewers about toxic products, right? The producers who are putting chemicals and toxins in products that are not considered all natural. Um, there was fear there, right? I was like, well, who am I, right? Like, who am I to be teaching people this? And who am I not to, right? I was a person who had spent at least 5 years before I even decided to share. And many people who I knew would ask me all the time about all these natural products that I use and how I became a person to live that way. My living is that way, right? So the products that I buy in my home are all natural. How I became so intentional, how I was able to release those products that maybe I spent a nice penny on, right? But realizing that these are not helpful for me, the environment, animals, being able to release those things. Many people were curious about that, and I received questions over the years. So ultimately, when I thought about it, right, and went beyond the fear, I was able to say, well, yeah, people have been asking this, and I do have my personal experience and all of my lessons and all of my knowledge and information. So who am I not to share this, right? So that helped me really be able to see truth when the fear creeps in of you don't know what you're doing. Again, who are you to be the authority on this or to have a say or any of the things? Who are you to use your voice? Who am I not to, right? To share this, to help other people, other women who want to live consciously, more mindfully, do more things that are good and less harmful to themselves, the environment, etc., right? So, with all of my experience and now more years of experience, I continue to do that. Things have changed for me, as you all know. Started this podcast, and at the beginning of the year, when I decided to do this podcast in a more formal way than simply being on IG Live and interviewing a mindfulness practitioner once a month, it was scary again, right? All the technology, like all these pieces are quite overwhelming for sure. And yeah, deciding to say, okay, I'm not going to let all of these intimidating things stop me from creating and talking about what I know I love and what feels good for me. I'm going to take my time and learn, and I'm going to align with people who can assist me. Set the intention to align with people who know more about the things that I don't, definitely this technical stuff, to be able to support me in a way that feels good. And so that is how I've been able to transform my fear into what is actually real, right? Even though in my head was playing, well, you don't have enough technical knowledge to be doing a formal podcast. And that may be true. However, I can align with the people to show me, and I can learn because we can all learn, right? So that was the truth of the matter. All right. So again, I may not be perfect. And so being able to see other people who had podcasts, who were live on Instagram, Facebook, etc., and being able to see their flaws, right? Being able to see, oh, well, they have typos in their captions and everything is not perfect, but the content is there. They know what they're talking about. And yeah, when they first started, they had some hiccups, and so will I. Right? I'm normal, I'm human, and this is what connects us, this humanity, our flaws, in addition to our victories, right? We are all connected. And so it felt good just being able to have that realization and not allow the fear to keep me from being in this moment or any moment that led up to this moment. Very grateful for that. Um, so to prepare myself, right, to be successful in this, again, it's about learning what I need to learn, the things that I don't know. So these technical pieces, right, all these software that I'm using now versus just getting on IG Live, really learning this and being ready, feeling ready. And I'm still learning, as you can see. There may be a ringing in here. I don't really know. On my end, I can't hear it, but still learning, right? You all know that very first live that I did, there is a lot going on, and so I re-recorded it the following week, right? And so just still learning, but preparing myself to be successful and learning the lessons as they come. And so instead of having that, what's the previous acronym I use? False evidence appearing real, right? Keeping me from doing what I want. I can now feel excited, FE, and ready, AR. Fear. Transform that fear into something that feels good, right? So I can honestly say that yes, when I face fear, this delusional fear, right, I am able to come back to with a lot of mindfulness practices that, yeah, I can feel excited and ready to do my best and show up in any space that I've said I wanted to show up in, that I wanted to actualize. So that is what I encourage you all to do. In the past, again, when I was younger, I allowed FOMO, right? Like fear of missing out, FOBO. What is that? Fear of better options, right? So it would take me a really long time to make decisions because I thought, oh, well, what if something better comes along, right? What else? I mean, a list of fears that definitely showed up when I was younger, and I realized, like, wait, this is really keeping me from like doing the things I want to do and being who I want to do and showing up how I want to show up in a way that feels good. So I decided no amount of fear is worth me living with regrets. Not a single one. So again, I decided very, very young to build my faith muscle. My faith in what you might say? Well, my faith in myself, right? My faith in myself to know that if there is fear talking to me again, telling me I can't do this, I don't have the experience for this, I don't have the knowledge, etc., knowing that, yeah, I can do anything. I can learn the technical things I need to learn to show up in this space. I am strong. I am resilient, right? So these are the things that I have been able to actualize when fear is creeping in, and know that I'm going to be okay if I just keep doing the things that I say I want to do and not allowing that fear to keep me from doing it. Um, there are a few things, right, that I allowed to stop me from living my best life when I was younger. And I realized very early on, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Having that regret. Oh, I should have done that. I didn't like that. And so, again, that is what helped me as I matured say, never again. It may feel so scary, but I'm going to do it anyway. And so, again, this faith that I built, right? Not just in myself to know that, yes, I am strong. I can do anything, but also in all that is greater than us, right? Divine creator, having faith that everything that is happening in my life is meant for me because divine made it be so. And with that in mind, perceiving how I perceive God, creator, divine, is all good, all knowing, and having my best interests at heart at all times, then I know, okay, well, this thing that appears like really scary is not going to be bad for me because, again, creator has my best intention at heart, at mind, and is doing things for my good. I built that faith, and I stand on that. I believe that to this day. So when anything is occurring that maybe doesn't feel so good, I do my mindfulness practice, and I come back to truth and know that this too, no matter how scary it may be, is good for me, and I'm going to learn something. So, and as you know, I like learning. So being a lifelong learner, right? I've shared that in the podcast. So, so yeah. And then in the universe, I also have the same faith and also in others. I am a person who has, since I was a little girl, believed that people are genuinely good. initially. I honestly perceive and believe that. And so that has helped me to have faith and trust in others when maybe some people are a bit apprehensive or leery. I know that as I extend that trust in others, people will also extend that trust in me, right? So it has to be given in order to receive. And that has helped me build really beautiful relationships as well. So grateful for that. What else am I wanting to share with you all about fear in my journey? Yes, okay. So the conscious choice, right? Again, that I said that I'm making to view life optimistically, if you will, keeps me open to learning and experiencing the best in life no matter what. I use all sorts of mindfulness practices to remind me to come back into the present moment when I lose focus and become fearful. So, breathing techniques, various meditations, visualization, affirmations, whatever is needed for me to really not be focusing on projecting something that could happen in the future as a result of me doing this thing that seems really fearful in the present moment, but really just being in the present moment and seeing like, okay, well, what's available for me right here? Yes, it seems really mortifying to start this camera and go live. However, what is true? Am I in danger? Not at all. What's the worst that could happen? People don't show up, right? Or they do, and maybe they say mean things. Okay. I've experienced that before in my life, right? People saying mean things to me, and I lived, right? So is there some imminent threat or danger? No, I can really just come into the present moment and say, okay, well, if I'm not in danger, what else? What else is showing up for me that is making me do all this projection about a future occurrence that could be really scary? When really, it's just this present moment, and I can be in it and be still in it and actualize my power. And as I begin to breathe and be still, I can recognize that in this present moment, I'm safe. And more things, more information, more knowledge, more truth becomes available to me in that moment than if I allow fear to take over. When fear takes over, it's just, okay, let's escape, let's run, let's panic, whatever. Versus, no, I am safe. I'm good here. This is maybe a scary thing. However, I've done many scary things, and I can do hard things and scary things well, right? Really coming into that truth and being centered and grounded in truth is what helps. So, again, while there are real fears, most fears are delusional, as I've said before, right? When there's no true threat or immediate physical danger, that is just like a delusion in our head, right? If you have no threat of loss of someone or something dear to you, then yeah, you're okay. You are safe, right? And there are so many fears in this life. I had no idea there are like over 500 fears and phobias, y'all. So I mentioned glossophobia, right? This fear of public speaking, which is the number one fear in America, by the way. Um, Phobophobia, get this, fear of being afraid. Like, wow, that is a thing. I didn't know that. Um, Pantherophobia, Pantherophobia, that's how you say it. Guess what that is? I thought it was funny, but not to be laughing at these people, but it was just funny. I was like, oh, that's a thing. Like people being afraid of their mother-in-law, right? Pantherophobia. Who knew? Because are you safe, right? Is this woman like clinically well and it's just you're afraid of maybe her saying hurtful things to you, which, okay, you can survive that and you can set boundaries so that you don't have to, that doesn't have to be your reality, right? Um, and so, again, that's a fear. What else? Xanthrophobia is a fear. Fear of the color yellow. I absolutely love the color yellow, and there are people who are afraid of it, right? Had no idea. There are so many fears, and if we allow them, like literally, they will invade and take over our lives, and that is not what we want. We want to be living our lives in fullness and joy. We want to be thriving, right? And so, how do we do that? I read this quote by Lee Collin in an Inc. article, and it says, "Fear fills the void left by our lack of faith, right? So we could just have faith in the goodness of ourselves, universe, creator, divine, other people, and know that whatever this thing is, it will pass. We will thrive through it. We will excel eventually. Maybe we have to do it a few times to be created it or become better, but it's not going to kill us, right? There's no imminent danger, right? There are those few caveats to actual fear and actual threat. But if those things are not existing and we're just, again, creating all these scenarios, well, what if this, and you could do this if you get on this flight, and maybe the flight crashes. I mean, just all these things, right, will literally keep us from living our best lives. I know people who dare not get on a plane because of their fear has kept them paralyzed. And you know how many people fly, you know how many more car accidents there are than airplane crashes, right? So just so many things, right, that make if you can come into reality and be present, you can see, oh yeah, find the truth and know that, oh, this is not anything to be afraid of or allowed to keep me from living the life that I really, really want. If I really want to travel the world and see things, and I'm allowing these things that I'm projecting, right, that could really go wrong, well, then I won't live the life that I desire. And we all deserve, we are all worthy of living the lives we desire and not allowing fear to keep us from doing that, right? So the goal, again, is to stop reacting mindlessly to our own thoughts and our feelings, right? And to choose meaningful, mindful behavior instead. Choosing a meaningful intention or behavior is difficult to do when we are afraid. So, when we are afraid, the goal is to stop. Simply stop. Slow down, be still, take a pause. And in the pause, allow your thoughts to slow down. All those things running rampant in your mind, slow them down. Bring them to a halt. Allow your emotions to settle, whatever is rising in you. Perhaps it's making you anxious, even more afraid, speeding up your heart rate. So many things are happening, right? So just slow those things down until they quiet and they stop. And connect to the present, as I've said before, right? And what is actually meaningful to you in that moment. That is how we do that. Fear is merely an invitation for us to move from mindlessness to mindfulness. So, instead of mindlessly allowing our thoughts and our feelings to order our actions, making us reactive, right? Pause and become fully present in the moment. Move from your head, all those thoughts, right, to your heart and your body so that you can respond in a healthy way, right? Ask yourself some questions like, what is happening right now? And look around you and see what's really happening. Are you in physical danger? Is someone you love or know in physical danger? No. Ask yourself that. Am I in danger? Is anyone around me in danger? Calm your body and your mind. And then welcome in a resounding presence again, right? And notice all the things that begin to arise and what you're able to free yourself from, right? So knowing, remembering, recognizing, we all have a choice when fear shows up. We can forget everything and run, allowing that fear to control our lives, our outcomes, keep us paralyzed, or we can face everything and rise. Rise to the occasion, get to the other side, and realize, oh, there was nothing to be afraid of. None of those things were real, and none of those things I perceived that would happen actually happened. In fact, beautiful things came from this. And thank goodness I didn't allow that fear to paralyze me, right? All right, so in this moment, I would like to guide you through a brief mindfulness practice to support you in facing your fears. Before we begin, I invite you to make yourself comfortable by sitting on the floor cross-legged or in a chair with your feet flat on the floor to ground yourself. Your spine will be straight and your neck an extension of your spine. Place your hands on your thighs with your palms facing down. Now close your eyes. Today's breath is the box breath. You'll inhale for a count of 4, hold at the top for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold at the bottom for a count of 4. So when you are ready, let's begin. We will repeat this 4 times, and no worries, you don't have to count. I will cue you. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Last one. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Now release this breath and begin to breathe at a pace that is slow and comfortable and deep. And with your eyes still closed, begin to imagine a yellow light inside of your stomach, behind your navel, your solar plexus chakra. And see this yellow light. And on each inhale, connect to that source of light. And on each exhale, help this yellow light expand slowly throughout your entire body. Inhaling, connecting to that light, and exhaling, spreading that light, helping it grow and expand throughout your body. Taking your time, inhaling, connecting to that light, exhaling, expanding that light throughout your entire body. And once your body is completely filled with this yellow light, imagine a time you were fearful about doing something. What caused this fear? Was it something you actually experienced before? Or was it a false narrative or perception that you projected based on perhaps things you've heard other people say, or maybe other things you've watched but not actually experienced? Did you face this fear, or did you allow it to overtake you? And how did you feel? If you faced it, what did you find to be true afterwards? Was there something really to be afraid of? or not? Did all the horrible things that you perceived and imagined actually happen or not? And if you didn't face that fear, do you have any regrets? Do you often think about how you could be living your life had you faced that fear? Now, think about something that you have not done because of fear. Something that has the potential to teach you something, help you grow, make you better, and free you. Something you really want to do, but fear has kept you paralyzed thus far. Have you weighed the costs, the benefits, how you would feel after doing it, after surviving and doing well? Or have you only thought about what could happen horrific if you do the thing? I invite you in this moment to place your right hand on your heart and take a deep breath. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If you knew this fear wasn't real? And listen to what comes up. Notice what happens in your body. And see yourself doing the thing, whatever it is you want to do, and being great at it. Really visualize yourself doing it well and learning, excelling, and feeling good about it. Proud of yourself for facing the fear and rising to the occasion. Now tell yourself, with your hand still placed over your heart, there is no one and no thing to fear. And take the deepest breath you have taken all day. And when you are ready, I invite you to slowly open your eyes and come back into the space. Now, to complete our mindfulness session for today, please affirm by repeating after me. I am safe. I breathe deeply and face my fears. Good. Let's say that again. I am safe. I breathe deeply and face my fears. Great. One last time. I am safe. I breathe deeply and face my fears. Beautiful. I invite you to be mindful, breathe deep often, and contemplate ways you can fear less. Remember, mindfulness is always available to you every minute of every day. May you use each minute to be mindful. I am Dr. Aiko-Douglas, your transformational life coach, life integration specialist, and mindfulness practitioner, here to empower you to transform your life one mindful decision at a time. I also encourage you to be mindful of the products you use on and in your body, as well as the products you use around your home. If you found this podcast through social media, please share which platform in the comments below. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe on all social media platforms to follow my journey. And join my exclusive community on Patreon at Integr8 Lyfe. Thank you for tuning in, listening, engaging, and being mindful with me today. Namaste. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 27. It's all about rest, the refreshing stillness.